ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kyle the Pug's Sports Review Show, episode number 6. We are on that magic number 6. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. I am Kyle the Pug, a.k.a. Kyle Lodi, and again, I would like to welcome you all to, of course, my Kyle the Pug Sports channel, where we're going to be doing all these daily and weekly shows. We'll talk about the hottest topics in the sports world. And we'll talk about, some other things, too, of that nature. But before we begin today's show, again, I just wanted to say a huge shout-out to my buddy, Hey It's Nick, for reaching 100,000K. That is a huge number. And when I first met the guy, honestly, he was, didn't even have like 300 subs at the time. And he was just starting out on YouTube. And then when all of a sudden his channel started to take off, here we are today, and he's got over 100K, and that's just absolutely amazing. So, again, congratulations, man. Keep it up, and keep making videos, and keep entertaining your subscribers. That's all I gotta say. So, that being said, I'm Kyle the Pug, a.k.a. Kyle Lodi, and whatever you want to call me, doesn't matter. And this, of course, we have a Nick here, but this is a Amish Mormon Nick. Just kidding. We all love him. It's Cowboy Nick.
How y'all doing, folks? And yes, and don't forget that on Kyle's birthday, I'm buying him a Segway with hydraulics and rims and everything like that, so he can be so cool as he drives to school.
I can imagine that you're like a Mexican or black on the inside. You just don't even know it yet.
If anything, I'd probably be Mexican because I don't like farming.
Well, yeah, you gotta pick that cotton good. But anyways, let's get started here with today's show. We're kind of a little running behind here, like a few seconds. But anyways, we got to get started here. So first topic we're going to talk about here on the show is the Philadelphia 76ers winning at the draft lottery. And, of course, behind them, following up, the Lakers get the number 2 pick, and the Celtics get the number 3 pick. So after losing a total of 199 games, let me rephrase that, 199 games over the past 3 seasons, the Philadelphia 76ers finally were rewarded for their rebuilding tanking plan. With head coach Brett Brown representing the team, the Sixers landed the first overall pick in Tuesday night's NBA draft lottery and get the right to choose either LSU freshman forward Ben Simmons or Duke freshman forward Brandon Ingram, considered to be the top 2 prospects in the draft. And, of course, that this is what Brett Brown said about the Sixers finishing ahead of the Lakers and the Celtics in the top 3, and I quote, "The city has endured a lot over the past 3 seasons. I felt like we were doing the right things all along the way, and we were not skipping enough steps. We put in good days, and our process was questioned. At times, it was clearly fair enough," unquote. So, Cowboy Nick, I'm going to bring it to you now. What does this mean for the Philadelphia 76ers now that they got the first pick?
Well, for me, this is actually an opportunity for them to actually make their team a little bit better, get that little bit more motivation that they need, and to actually get their team to be where it needs to be. And if anything, if I was the organizer of that team, I would definitely go for Duke, because the performance he put on this last year was just like wow. So it's like, it's like if I'm going for someone, I'm going for him. So.
All right. So Brown also said that the the Sixers have not decided to yet who they would pick to add to a young roster that already includes Julio Okafor and Joe Embiid, who was selected in the third of each of the past 2 seasons. Entering the lottery, Philadelphia had a 26.9, so basically 27% chance of landing the number 1 pick, and their own 25% chance plus Sacramento's 1.9% chance, since the Sixers had the rights to swap picks with the Sacramento Kings from a previous trade. And this is what Brown also said. Excuse me, allergies are kicking in all of a sudden. I never felt jinxed in my entire life. I truly believed in what we were doing, and in many ways, I felt like we've been rewarded for the patience and perseverance, especially the city's perseverance, unquote. So your thoughts on those comments, Cowboy?
I do agree with those comments, but also when you look at it, Um, in the long run, I don't know if I would ever trade. I don't know if I ever would want to exchange anything with Sacramento for the fact that Sacramento really organization really doesn't have a good motivation or a good team play corresponding element to their organization. When you look at them, their team is just not all there, and a team that I think that really needs to be.
Okay, well, here's the thing with Sacramento, though. They actually do have a couple of superstars that can actually possibly get them to the postseason. But you look at the team, and they do need a couple of guys, though. It's just the head coach is for one of them, and they need like a couple of role playing players who actually have really a high basketball IQ, can actually help them play the game better. And if they actually get those two guys, I could possibly, you could actually see them in the postseason. So, in other words, I wouldn't really talk smack on the Kings just yet.
The coach that they had this year,
Oh, George Karl? Yeah, I mean the way that George Karl went down like that was just sad. But I mean, you thought he could have done better to help the Kings, but it just wasn't.
Honestly, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, you have a guy who's been with the Nuggets for such a long time, and then he goes down in Sacramento, and now all of a sudden he did, I wouldn't say, bad, but he kind of was subpar with the team. I mean, there were some bright moments now and here and there, but, I mean, they could have done way better, honestly.
They really could have gone either way, but the fact is, when it comes to Sacramento, the team needs to really get itself in a better. They need to organize their team a lot better, and they need to get it to the point where it's going to be able to actually get the win and not just get the hopes up.
All right, so let's get back here to the draft real quick with the 76ers, Lakers, and Celtics. So, who are the? I'm going to ask you this also, Cowboy. Who are those Sixers, the Lakers, and the Celtics are likely to draft now that the order is set? Like, who do you think is going to go first, second, and third, etc.?
Well, first, I like that guy. I like that guy from
Brandon Ingram, you mean?
I love his performance. It's hard to explain. His performance was just like wow. I also like for a player I would like to see go to the Lakers would be that forward from LSU.
Ben Simmons, I mentioned him too.
Yes, and then to Boston, I like that Asian guy from Harvard.
The Asian guy. I love the way you put that.
Well, I can't remember because I'm like trying to remember his name, but like sometimes you're not trying to be equal, but you're trying to think. You're trying to really.
I don't know. If Cowboy Nick is being mean, just say something in the comments below. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you. I think you kind of are being mean. Just saying.
I'm not trying to be at all, but I'm trying to think.
All right, let me ask you another question here. Should the Lakers trade the number 2 pick for an actual superstar currently in the NBA today?
No. Don't give that up. Don't give that pick up.
That was a fast question.
Well, because if you having that pick can also give you the chance, can give you a better chance. Because when you look at it this year, the season's gonna be kind of weird this year because noted that the U.S. team is right now as well. The U.S. team is going through a lot of training itself because don't forget what's going on August 5th.
And remember, and here's another thing you got to remember too: the free agency. There's the free agency signings after the draft though too. So if I was the Lakers, I would actually wait on trying to get a superstar.
Yeah, I would go for the free agents. If I was the Lakers too, I'd go for the free agents. And if I was Boston, I would go for a definite free agent.
So, anyways, that's all from that topic here. We'll try to bring more if we get anything useful there. But let's move on to, of course, Major League Baseball and why Matt Harvey keeps getting rocked in all the starts. He had a nice season last year when the Mets went to the World Series, but now Matt Harvey is he's kind of been a little meh his past few starts, and we're going to actually talk about that here right now. So, the first time Matt Harvey and Steven Strasburg matched up in their careers back in April 2013, as the Dark Knight was bursting onto the scene, New York Mets fans gleefully chanted, "Harvey is better, Harvey is better." And in the first match at Citi Field that faced off, the Queens faithful booed Harvey off the mound Thursday in what became a 9-1 rubber game loss to the Washington Nationals. Harvey allowed a career-high 9 runs, 6 earned for that matter, on 8 hits and 2 walks, and lasted only 2 2/3 innings in the shortest start of his career. His ERA soared to 5.77 as he continued to search for answers to his woeful start in 2016. So Harvey's jump over the last season's 2.71 ERA is the 4th largest in the majors. So next to, of course, Zach Greinke's ERA is 3.42, followed by Sonny Gray's 3.11, and then David Price is up to 3.08, and then you have, of course, Matt Harvey's at 3.06. So that being said, what has been going on with Matt Harvey lately, and what does this mean for the Mets?
Honestly, I think this is going to be a kind of it's at the point where it's looking like it could be a downfall. But the one thing I'm curious about, and I mean, a lot of people still are, is what in the hell happened with the Blue Jays and the Rangers.
Well, we're going to get to that maybe here in a bit. We don't know for sure, but ex-Met Daniel Murphy belted a 2-run home run in Thursday's first inning against Harvey, and it marked only the second time in Harvey's career that he surrendered a long ball in an 0-2 offering. Harvey then was knocked out in the 7-run third inning that included an Anthony Rendon 2-run double and a Wilson Ramos 2-run single, and Ben Revere's 2-run triple, as well as a fielding error by shortstop Asdrubal Cabrera. And 3 batters later into the third, Bryce Harper delivered a line drive single to right field for his first career hit against Harvey. And since then, before that point, Harper had been 0 for 21, matching the most hitless at-bats in a batter-pitcher matchup in the majors among active players. So, and that's actually interesting because I saw that in an interview that Bryce Harper actually, feels really bad, though, for Matt Harvey for what he's done last season. Now he's going on to this season, and now all of a sudden he's just going down the drain.
Pretty much, and it is a sad thing. Honestly, it really is a sad thing. But the fact is, when you're looking at this, it's the fact that they're not doing what they should. And also, we look at it too. What's his name for the Atlanta Braves as well, losing their manager. Like that's another. Now that's another hard break right there, because when you have a team like the Atlanta Braves losing their manager.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that for another topic here sometime down the road. But I was going to say that I actually also read this on Twitter. They said they could actually skip Matt Harvey's next start after the way he's playing.
It's looking that way. From what I've been hearing, from what I've heard, it's looking like it's getting to the point now where Harvey could be saying goodbye to New York.
Well, he is still trying to look for answers here, but I don't think he's going to be saying goodbye to New York in a trade. But if he doesn't find anything in the next 2 months, then yeah, something's going to be a bit wrong with Matt Harvey over the regular season, and then we might have a chance to be saying goodbye to him, maybe like in the next few months from now. But as of right now, I would give him a bit more time. I think he's still trying to discover what he's been trying to do as of lately for the team.
Right, but the fact is, with um, with the fact, when you look at the Mets and everything, the Mets this year truly have not been the team that they were last year, and the Mets are truly not performing at the level that everyone is now knowing them for. Because when you look at it now, the Mets are dropping down. But the fact is, tonight the Mets will be facing off against the Brewers. But the fact is, when you look at it on this one, yes, the Mets may have a 22 to 18, a 22 to 18, 22 18 advantage over the Brewers. But when you look at this on, when you look at the numbers and you look at the performance of both these teams, you actually look at it, it looks to be on the Brewers side. For the simple fact that the Mets are as organized as they used to be, and the Mets are losing what they have.
All right, so I want to go give a little another stat here really quick with the Nationals and how they did against Harvey's fastball. So Harvey's pretty much known for his fastball, since last year. I'm going to give you like a stat right here. It was people hitting against Harvey's fastball last year. Last year it was 2.242, so that's basically that's pretty good little average against hitters, just comparing with them. And let's go to this year though. Opponents are hitting .336 against that pitch this next season, and basically what the Nationals did against Harvey's fastball, they went 6 for 12 in Thursday's game hitting against Harvey's fastball. So what does that tell you?
Well, when you look at it too, it does tell you that the Nationals are a good team. When you look at it, when you look at the numbers and everything as well of the Nationals this year and their performance on the road and at home, the Nationals do look like the team to be a strong team this year. And when you look at that, it does tell you crunch time when you look at these numbers. So.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the guy, he's been coming off from, Tommy John surgery, a couple of years ago and then a year ago after that having a dominant performance. But do you think these could be the effects of the Tommy John surgery he's had a couple years ago?
It could be, because once you have Tommy John surgery and everything like that, it does affect your body. It does have some effects on you, and I do know people.
Well, here's the thing. I'm actually going to go the other way, and I'm going to say it's not the Tommy John surgery. Maybe he just hasn't found his, connection mentally, like as a pitcher. But if he does show signs of like injuries or whatnot, then it could be the case that he's that's probably why he hasn't been pitching lately. I mean, more importantly though, I just don't think he's had the right amount of I would quote it mojo to actually get back up to the point where he was to be that dominant pitcher as he was before. But either way, I think I can give him like a couple months just to find his groove back, and so people would say. I mean, like I said, I'd give him some time. I'm going to give him a couple more months.
Basically, what it is he just needs to be able to find his angle and to find what pitches are going to work best for him.
All right, so Harvey, speaking of which, inducted only 4 misses on 27 swings by the Nationals, and that 14.8% rate was his lowest miss percentage in a start since 2013 and the lowest of his career. Washington batters made contact on each of the final 14 swings against Harvey. So, like I said, he needs to find a way to work on his other pitches and not just his fastball, probably.
Oh, yeah. I did watch the game a little bit, the National and the Mets game a little bit. I did watch that game. And what else I noticed on that one, too, is the fact that Harvey seemed to be emotionally down on himself.
Oh, yeah, no question.
No, like when you were to watch the game.
I noticed it a bit, too.
Yeah, like you would have what's his name calling in the what pitches to pitch, you get that feeling in your body because you feel like that you're not going to be able to throw the same way that you used to before you had this surgery, and that right there is considered they consider it an emotional discretion, and they say that is a psychological disorder that a lot of players in the major leagues get after having Tommy surgery.
All right, so moving on to different topics here, we're going to go to our final topic, and we're going to take it to Cowboy Nick, who's going to talk to us about the Stanley Cup Playoff update. So, the floor is yours.
All right, folks, and yes, last night and the night before was some crazy stuff when it comes to this.
Crazy stuff.
It is. It literally is coming down to the wire as you look at it. Here and everything like that. You're looking at teams who are just going. It's basically, I'll put it in words that Kyle will understand. It's going yippee-ki-yay here in both the East and the West. When you look at it, the fact that last night the Sharks did win over the Blues.
So they're up 2-1.
No, they beat them 3-0.
No, I'm saying the series they're up 2-1. Yeah, 3-0. Yeah, I know they won 3-0, but I'm saying they're up 2-1 in the series.
Yeah, but they're basically just
Their top line is pretty much dominating St. Louis. That's the clear difference. With Pavelski and Joe Thornton, they're playing their absolute best right now.
Oh yeah, and then when you look at I gotta bring this up. When you look at the latest game from the Penguins and the Lightning, Penguins beat in their last victory, which was Wednesday, beat over the Tampa Bay Lightning and won this game 4-2 in this game. And the fact is, Tampa Bay has only won one game against the Penguins, and the Penguins are now leading the series 2-1 over this. And
same with the Sharks and the Blues.
And when you look at tonight's game, it's going to be Penguins and Lightning again, and the game is 2-1. It's game 4, so everyone knows what that means. When it comes down to game 4, when a 2-1 lead in the series, and you have a team like the Penguins with that front line and that goaltending that they have, which everyone knows is just like, damn! And it's coming out like this. You're looking at this game and you're thinking to yourself, oh shit, what is going to, is this truly are the Penguins truly going to do what I think they're going to do to the Lightning? Are they truly going to do what they're going to do to the Lightning?
And if they do this, they might have a good chance of being up 3-1. Or will the Lightning tie it though? That's the other thing you gotta look at too.
Yeah, and that's what everyone. I've been talking to people online and on Facebook and stuff, and I've been asking them, "What do you think about the Penguins and the Lightning?" And I've just been getting this. I've been getting tons of these statements. These girls from this college at UNC and everything like that. The University of UNC has sent me messages saying, "Cowboy Nick, please tell Kyle to make sure that he lets us know to make sure that he is also rooting for the Lightning, because we know that we know how much Lightning he has in him, and we know that he's a Lightning, and we know that he loves Tampa Bay, and we love him, and let him know that we're his Lightning."
Okay, first off, let me say none of that is true. Secondly, I'm going for the Penguins in this series. I don't know if they realize that or not.
I don't know.
Not to mean to break their hearts or anything, but...
I'm just letting you know what's going on with that, but it's just a simple fact that I'm also going for the Penguins, but the fact is, the way this game could go either way, when you look at the Penguins and the Lightning, this game could go either way, because you look at the Penguins and the Lightning, both teams are just so damn strong. And the fact that the Lightning goaltender that they have, that they're going to be having out tonight, is, and I I have never read this about this guy. Yeah, his name is Corchivo. I hope I'm saying his name right. But he has blocked 14% of the goals that were made against his team this year. And apparently their new goaltender. Like, he just barely got called up from their AHL club. So.
All right, I'm going to talk about, well, I'm going to mean to interrupt you, but I'm going to ask you, like, a few questions here really quick. So we actually have the Final Four teams, the Sharks, Lightning, Blues, Penguins, all, trying to fight for a spot here in the Stanley Cup Finals. Which matchup would make more sense to you, despite giving your pick? I mean, which two teams would actually bring up the hockey ratings in the Stanley Cup Finals?
Honestly, if I had to make a pick, I would have to say I gotta go Penguins and Sharks, because I just think that the fans in both arenas and both areas are just so crazy. It's just it's so crazy. Tampa Bay, it's too ghetto for me. I would have to say, because Tampa Bay is like the area for Tampa.
How is that ghetto? I don't get it. But, well, here's the thing, though. There was somebody's comment who mentioned about, the Blues and the Penguins. They said that this matchup would actually be great for, like, an actual movie theater, because with the Blues, you have a tortured fan base, that's never really won a Stanley Cup and also lost its NFL team this year. And then it'd be a fascinating story about a city who's truly getting behind its hockey team. And, of course, you got the Penguins, who look like they'd be regular contenders after winning the 2009 Stanley Cup, or trying to reassert themselves among the great teams of this era. And another cup would be a chance for Sidney Crosby to reclaim his place among the greatest leaders in the game, to cement his legacy as one of the best ever. So it would be actually an interesting matchup to look at, too. If you actually look at it. I mean, it would make sense, though, if you think about it.
But honestly, with the way the Blues have been playing lately, I don't see the Blues making it, because the Blues have been dropping in their performance lately. So that's basically why I'm saying I have to go with the Sharks, because.
Well, and here's the funny thing, though, too, with the Sharks, the Penguins, if that ever happens. You have a team that's trying to cement their legacy, and especially, with not just a team, but, of course, Sidney Crosby trying to become one of the great leaders, in hockey history. And, of course, you have the San Jose Sharks. They've never been to a Stanley Cup final, so what does that mean for them? And obviously the Penguins would have a huge advantage here on paper, but look at the huge story that could actually make, though. The Sharks would be considered like, the David part of the story, David versus Goliath kind of deal. And then the Penguins would be considered kind of like the Goliath. But in real life, though, this doesn't really make any sense of the Sharks being David and Penguins being Goliath. I don't know how that would work in real life. But either way, in the hockey world, you can actually look at that point. This is more like a David versus Goliath kind of matchup if it ever happens.
More like Jonah and the fish.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I'm just going to pretend I didn't hear that, so we're moving on. So, again, why would you say Sharks and Penguins one more time before we head out of here?
I just will say it like this, because when you look at the Sharks and you look at the Penguins, both teams are hungry, both teams are dominant, and both teams just look at their fans and look at everything around them and kick ass.
Well, like I said, the Sharks are kind of overdue to actually attend their first Stanley Cup, so it would make sense. But and then you have the story of the St. Louis Blues. Like I said, losing their Stanley Cup, not losing their Stanley Cup, but I meant to say losing their NFL team. Of course, you know who I'm talking about, like that, going to Los Angeles and all. And then of course the Lightning, of course, trying to return to the Stanley Cup for back-to-back years, and then they got the Penguins, trying to cement their legacy as well. So there's a lot of story writing behind all this, and there's going to be a lot of stories to tell, and there's going to be a lot of fairy tales that will be broken, that's for sure. So anyways, with that being said, we are out of here, of course, on episode number 6 on Kyle the Pug Sports Review Show. Thank you guys so much for joining in on this 30-minute show, and we hope you guys enjoyed it. enjoy the show as well. I don't know why I said that twice. But anyways, thank you guys for joining. I'm Kyle the Pug, aka Kyle Lode, and that's, of course, the Amish Mormon man himself, Cowboy Nick. And we'll see you guys next time for next week's show, where we're going to do episode number 7. Have a good day, guys. And as always, stay safe.